everyone, my name is Rachel, and today we are going to be looking at a website and YouTube channel that one of you lovely lot on Twitter asked me to have a look at, which is known as Spirit Science. I had a little bit of a look around their website because I'd not heard of them before, but they've got a website, a blog, a whole bunch of videos on YouTube, like a hell of a lot of videos, and I think in the past they did a lot of kind of like the basics of like spirit science, and now they're kind of, they've started updating their blog and YouTube channel again with some newer stuff. But today I thought we'd kind of like get back to basics and kind of look at an introduction to who they are and what they talk about and some of their silly ideas, and actually take a look at one of their first videos, because this is all new to me, so I figured it might be a little bit of fun if we have a look at it together and kind of like dive into this weird world of spirit science and see what we can find out. So the first thing I did was head to their website's like about page, their welcome page, that kind of thing. And they describe themselves like this. This is an open exploration into the nature of the universe and our infinite connection to everything around us, and an active demonstration of that connection through our actions. They go on to say, Spirit Science is about the harmonic merging of ideas that previously we have believed did not fit together. Things such as spirit and science, taking out all the dogma and limitations that come with these and unifying them together as one. It is the blending of male and female energies, the natural blending of our mathematical and logical understanding and the emotional, magical and spiritual way of life that have been separate for far too long. Okay, this might just be me, but it seems like there's a lot of like non-words there up until that last sentence. The rest of it is kind of wishy-washy bleh stuff that, you know, there's a lot of words but not much actual content. That last sentence, however, that is pretty much the only one that has any content to it, and even then it's basically just saying we're taking sciencey stuff and we're mixing it with feels. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but the whole magic and spiritual stuff that they talk about, it just seems a little bit dodgy to me. It's all like unsubstantiated rubbish. But I don't know, I guess we're just gonna see where this is going, give them a chance here. They continue that it's the idea that we are all connected. The idea that through love anything is possible. That you are a creator, and through our awareness of the world around us, we can create a massive change in the way we do things. In fact, it is our responsibility to use the gifts we've been given to create a transformation in this world. It is up to us. Nobody else can do it. And we cannot wait for anyone else to make a difference in the world. All it takes for evil to triumph is good people doing nothing. Okay, this is kind of where I start to have mixed feelings, because, like, you know, empowering people to take control of their lives and letting them know that they can change the world if they want, I think that's fantastic. I completely agree with and support that. I think that's great. But this idea of evil triumphing and being given gifts, it just feels a little bit like crap to me. I really don't like this idea that there's like this inherent evil in the world, and if we do nothing, evil will triumph. It feels a little bit fantasy fiction to me. But you know, let's just move on and dive into some of their actual content, right? Apparently there's this animated Spirit Science series, like that they actually called like the Spirit Science series, and that's kind of what I want to focus on today. We're going to be looking at episode 2, which is about chakras. So they do give this kind of little description of the series as a whole, and they say, most people don't realize that there is a very powerful connection between spirituality and science. All of our modern scientific fields are slowly but surely coming full circle in understanding a very cosmic connection between all things. Can I get a source for that, please? Like, which reputable scientists are publishing work in journals which shows an understanding of a very cosmic connection between all things? Just one example would do it for me. They go on and say, all the atoms, particles, plants, animals, humans, and galaxies all function under very similar patterns and principles of existence. Through the understanding of these patterns, we can grow an awareness of who we really are and where our place is in the cosmos. So, similar patterns and principles of existence, you mean like the laws of physics? I don't think that translates to a cosmic or spiritual connection between a bunch of things. It just means we're all made up of atoms and particles, and the same laws of physics apply to everyone and everything, right? Isn't that just all it means? This stuff is so weird because it's like towing this line between kind of technically sort of true on some level, but also a load of made up crap. And that's what kind of annoys me, because it's just, they're making ridiculous claims, but they kind of sound reasonable because they have this kind of like tiny little element of truth to them. And you'll see this pattern throughout the video that we're going to be watching, this one about chakras. So you know what, let's actually just jump straight into this now.
Hi there, welcome back. As we touched upon in Lesson 1, the world right now is in an incredibly disharmonic state. A few people mentioned that we've always been disharmonic, and this is true. In fact, we've been growing more and more disharmonic for about 13,000 years now. It's in our DNA, and it's something that we're passing through as a species. We're at the end of it though, and we will never be here again. We're just not in tune with ourselves, and mass consciousness is beginning to realize it. The reason for this, however, is not because of bad politics or greed in business. Those are simply long-term manifestations of the real problem, which lies on a much more individual level. The true problem is in our old way of thinking, creating tension on every level. This will become more apparent as the lessons go on. In today's lesson, I'm going to talk about chakras and how you can become more in tune with yourself and those around you on multiple levels.
So basically what I get from this is that apparently the whole world sucks because we think wrong, and we can fix it by changing the way we think, and then everyone will be in tune with everyone else, and we can all live this harmonious, happy life full of rainbows and bunnies who are all hopping around together and understanding each other's feelings and being on the same wavelength as one another, and hugs and vibrations and thoughts and stuff. Yeah?
Now, for us to even start to understand chakras, first we have to understand the basics of light and color. If you take pure light and shine it through a prism, the light will break into a spectrum of 7 colors. We familiarly recognize this as the spectrum of the rainbow. This spectrum, as we know it, is the foundation of every visible color. What you might not know about color is that each color has its own vibration. Red has the longest wavelength and the slowest vibration frequency. We recognize this as warm and stimulating. Violet has the shortest wavelength and the fastest frequency, and we recognize it as cool and calming. I don't think I have to describe what happens between these two colors. It's just a frequency change.
Color spectrum. Okay, so this is kind of what I mean about this like weird towing the line between fantasy and kind of like a little tiny seed of truth. You know what I mean? It's like this kind of stuff, different wavelengths of light being equal to different colors. That's cool. That's basic like year 7 or 8 physics, right? Everyone knows that. Everyone understands that. That's like an actual scientific fact. But then slipping in that stuff about how red is warm and stimulating and blue is calm and tranquil, this is where I start to get kind of like uncomfortable with the teachings, because like if you know about kind of like psychology and stuff like that, there is like this suggested link between like colors and the effect they have on us and our emotions and things like that. Like take the red one for example. Red is supposed to be this stimulating color, which is why it's used for like danger signs and warning signs, and even in marketing for like sales and things like that, because it does make us act. Although that idea that red is stimulating has nothing to do with the actual wavelengths of the light affecting us in some physical way. Those wavelengths don't have some like innate connection to making us feel things. It's completely different. It's probably like a biological or evolutionary response, right? I mean, blood is red. So, and not only actually, a lot of poisonous animals are red. And so when we see blood or when we see a poisonous animal, basically anytime we see red in nature, it tends to mean danger or trouble or signal that we need to act quickly about something, whether it's to stop bleeding or run away or just stay back or whatever. So over time, our brains have learned that red means we need to jump into action quickly. And there are like neurological pathways there telling us those things. And they link to, the release of adrenaline and making us act, So it's probably a bit biological and a little bit learned, but it has nothing to do with the wavelengths of light involved as such. It's not some big cosmic link with the universe, as this video seems to be suggesting.
We know that we need light energy for nourishing our brain, emotion, physical body, and perhaps more importantly, our chakras. So, what is a chakra? The word chakra comes from the Sanskrit word meaning wheel. A chakra is a wheel-like vortex spinning in a circular motion within the body. This forms a vacuum in the center that draws in energy on a vibratory level. It can draw in anything from color vibration to microwaves to energy and emotions of people that we come into contact with. This works in tandem with the thought realm that we discussed last week, as thoughts are on a vibratory level.
Okay, this has to be literally like the biggest pile of poop I've ever heard. Like, you expect me to believe that there's this huge vacuum inside of me somewhere. I mean, where? And how exactly does it form? What forms it? What exactly is spinning around inside of me? Surely, if it's there, we must be able to, like, actually study it and, like, not necessarily see it, but, like, pick up on it, right? We should easily be able to run some tests and see some evidence of some big swirly energy and vacuum inside each person. And don't even get me started on this whole, like, thoughts are on a vibratory level kind of thing. Because how exactly does that work? It doesn't make any sense. What exactly is vibrating? Like, you do realize that the brain and thoughts are just a series of electrical and chemical processes and reactions happening inside cells in the brain, right? Which I mean, like, it's just stuff moving in and out of cells and between cells, and some little particles that are moving have positive and negative charges and they create electrical gradients, and some things are like, you know, little chemicals called neurotransmitters being released from one neuron and picked up by another. And I'm oversimplifying like a hell of a lot here, but my point is, where is this vibrating? And if there was vibrating in the brain in some way, how is that detectable to others on any level? It just doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. They're literally making this stuff up. Like, literally everything we know about the human body and natural physics opposes what they're saying here. Like, it's just not possible. I'm a little bit bitter about this, I'm sorry.
Right, so chakras are energy points that run vertically from the top of your head down your spine. Depending on how you look at it, there are 7, 8, or 13 primary chakras, as well as over hundreds of smaller, less important ones that are just scattered around the body. Your chakras are kind of like the etheric motor of the soul. Not only do chakras draw in energy, each and every chakra radiates an energy of vibration and govern over a major organ or gland connected to other body parts that resonate of the same frequency.
No one can believe this crap, right? Please tell me no one can. I mean, there's literally no proof of chakras at all. Even the idea of, like, a soul is highly debatable, and personally, I don't believe in one. Like, this whole line about being, like, the etheric motor of the soul or whatever just seems like the biggest load of rubbish. It's literally nonsense, and they think because they put technical sounding words in there, and big words, and try and make it sound all proper and technical, you just know there are going to be people who eat this stuff up, and that makes me so mad and so sad.
To have balanced and aligned chakras will make you happier, healthier, and more in tune with yourself. When one chakra center is out of sync, it may eventually affect the organs and glands that it's connected to, and cause chakras neighboring them to also go out of sync, causing a chain reaction and many bodily imbalances. A chakra can become out of balance when it is overactive, underactive, or possibly congested or blocked.
No, your mood is dependent on a bunch of physical stuff going on in your body. Specific chemicals and hormones are, like, are either released or not released, or they're releasing too much, or it's nothing to do with the big swirling energy vortex, and they definitely don't get infected and spread bad energy around your body and to one another like some kind of virus or cancer. You don't have energy viruses in your body. How can anyone believe this?
The benefits to energizing your chakras and learning about them are primarily for a harmony of mind, body, and spirit. Your mind alone cannot nurture your whole being, nor can a proper food diet solve all of your problems. It is through your chakras that you can learn to balance all of you, bringing you into a healthier state of consciousness.
Again, okay, so this is another one where they're kind of like towing that line between something which is kind of technically, sort of, a little bit true, but also not at all. So I agree, right? Things like mood and stuff, especially if you have mental health problems. It's not something you can just fix by doing one thing. It's not just a matter of willpower. It's not just a matter of taking a pill. It's not just a matter of eating something new. Often it's a huge mix of things, and often understanding your feelings and, paying attention to your emotions, actively trying to improve your ways of thinking, they can be a really big help. I agree with that. So, like I say, there's some truth in what they're saying. But then the stuff about balancing chakras, it's just wrong. It's literally wrong. It's useless nonsense. There is no aspect of that which is even a little bit true.
As I mentioned before, each chakra is connected to an organ or gland, which governs over a section of the body. The order of the chakras actually go from the bottom up, starting with red, and changing vibrations in each chakra until you get to violet. Before we go any further, think about this. When you break light apart, you get 7 colors. These are the same 7 colors that our physical body is tethered to. What would you see if you were to look at a human through an etheric prism? Are we beings of light?
Oh, I can answer this one. No, we're not beings of light.
Now, not only does each chakra connect to an organ or gland, but each chakra also has a very specific trait. The first chakra is survival and is connected to the adrenal gland. The next one is sex or interaction, which is connected to the gonad. Finally is the crown chakra, which is the spiritual chakra and connects to the pineal gland.
Again, this is something which is kind of based on this little seed of truth, so it sounds like it could be believable, but it's not. Like, as we discussed earlier, the colour red, right, often triggers the release of adrenaline to stimulate us to act. But if you don't understand exactly why this happens, and, you don't understand the physical, biological processes behind this, if you don't understand the evolutionary history of why the colour red sometimes triggers this response, I can totally see why people would end up believing this stuff, and why it can just seem really easy, and it can just make sense to say, well, there's a chakra connected to your adrenal gland which reacts to red light with wavelengths and stuff. Because, yeah, it kind of sounds about right. It's easy to understand, it's like, yeah, no, that sounds technical, it sounds believable, it's kind of offering an explanation. I can see how that would be right, except it's literally not at all. And I feel like the people who come up with this stuff, they have to kind of understand what's actually happening to make these lies sound believable, which makes me think that the people who are teaching this stuff know it's a scam, and that just makes it all the more disgusting and horrific of them to peddle it as truth.
Do you know of a time when you were struggling with your ego, or didn't seem to have a heart, or couldn't express yourself? If you or anyone you know have a problem or come off too strong in any of these traits, the reason why is because of an imbalance within the chakras.
Okay, and this is the bit that really annoys me and upsets me, and that made me want to make this video on this stuff in particular, because this is what I think can be potentially dangerous to the individual and to the people around them. Because when people believe stuff like this, it stops them getting actual help for actual problems. Like, I love the thought of teaching people to feel empowered and want to understand and take control of their body. I love that. That's brilliant. But this is not the way to do it. My almost mother-in-law believes this kind of stuff. I don't know about chakras in particular, but she believes all this kind of spiritual, wishy-washy stuff that there's literally, like, no truth in. And because of the way she's, like, the way she just believes in this, like, spiritual stuff so much, she's so flippant about, like, actual science. And it is potentially dangerous at times. Like, at Christmas, she literally just told me, oh, I think you should stop taking the medication that I've been on for, like, 5 or 6 years at this point. Well, not the same medication. I've tried a few different ones until I found the one that was right for me, and it works. But basically, I'm on a reasonably high dose of this medication, and it helps me. It keeps me functioning normally as a real person. If I didn't take it, I would have both, like, emotional and physical withdrawal. It would be really, really bad to just stop taking it like that. I've done a lot of work over the years with counsellors and people to get me in a really good place today and still take my medication. And for her to just turn around and say, Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like this kind of medication stuff. I think you should just stop taking it. You know what? You should probably just go out more with your friends. Meet more girls. Yeah, I think that'll help instead of your medication. Can you believe if I was her actual daughter and I trusted her, or if I was a pretty gullible person, or if I was just a very trusting person, or if I was a person who didn't understand the biology behind, what's wrong with me or how bodies work, I might fall for this crap that she's telling me about how I need to just, get out the house more, and how that's going to suddenly fix physical problems with me. I might believe her stuff. Like, at one point, she took me to the attic in her house and tried to make me pray to the shrine, to the creepy leader of the cult that she's a part of. And she tried to tell me that, that was going to cure me and that was going to fix all my problems. And I was like, if I was in a really vulnerable state at the time, not in the kind of happy, healthy state I'm in now, that could have been so bad for me. I could have fallen for that crap. And this is what I hate. I know I'm kind of like rambling on and giving a little bit of a personal side to this, but my point is people who buy into this crap don't understand the real reasons behind both physical and mental illnesses, and when they try and push aside, real medicine and real treatment, when they try and push that aside and tell people to just, focus on the spiritual and balance your chakras, instead of doing the actual, tested and tried and we know it works stuff, that is putting people in danger, and that's what upsets me. Anyway, back to the video.
As we know, each chakra resonates to a color that we just discussed. Doing things like wearing clothing that matches the color of a chakra will cause it to resonate. I remember when I first learned about this, all of my chakras were closed except for my throat, which was way too open. The reason for this was because my bedroom was painted blue, as well as my bed sheets were blue, and every night I would get a chakra boost in that one area.
So I highly doubt this. I mean, growing up, my bedroom was purple, and I had purple walls, and purple curtains, and a purple carpet, and a purple duvet. And I can tell you with absolute certainty that my crown chakra was not boosted. I was not spiritual. I did not have an inner sense of wholeness. I did not have an inner state of balance, as apparently this chakra controls. If anything, I was the opposite. So, if we're going purely on anecdotal evidence, this colour theory is poop.
Eating food that matches the chakra colors are good as well. Eating red tomatoes and apples are good for the root chakra. Eating greens are good for the heart. Does this make you want to eat healthier?
I think I might give this a go. This explains so much. If only colour matters when it comes to food, then screw water. That's colourless and powerless. I'm drinking pink drinks from now on, that's all. I mean, look at this. Look at the colour of it. How can this not be healthy? This is going to help my chakras so much. Sugary, artificially coloured drinks are the way forward. No more water from me. That stuff is powerless.
Medical science has proven that toxins and impurities, including negative thoughts, chemicals in our food, and other pollutants can influence the body.
Oh, wait here. Hang on a minute. That is a pretty huge claim right there, right? Can you just show me one single example of a published paper in a respected medical journal which describes negative thoughts as a toxin or impurity which pollutes the body? Just one example. That'd be enough. Now, I don't doubt that emotions can eventually have a physical effect on the body and vice versa. But to compare negative thoughts to toxins, impurities, and pollutants is just wrong on so many levels. You know what, with that, I'm going to leave this video right here. It's been long enough, and this video is ridiculous. If you'd like me to dive a little bit deeper into this weird world of spirit science, please let me know down in the comments. They cover loads of weird stuff about like channeling spirits and so on, and just weird stuff, and I think at times they're kind of getting a little bit political now as well, and it's really weird. I will link their website below if you want to go check it out, and they also have a YouTube channel as well, which is full of really strange stuff. But yeah, for now, let me know what you think about spirit science, what you think about chakras, what you think about this weird pseudoscience that's based on like a tiny seed of truth and then a big blob of fiction. Let me know what your thoughts are on all of that. And if you've ever experienced a big swirly vortex inside of you. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. And I'll see you guys again soon. Thank you so much everyone supporting me on Patreon this month. I can't believe the amount of support, it's amazing. Especially thank you goes to Gambit and Chauffeur, Mark Dauner, Christian Berg, Religion is BS, Matthew Meinema, Jaylee Moore, Sir Michael Moore, Lachie Scott and Jadeon Sheppard. And a huge thank you to all of them and everyone else who's here on the end screen and down in the description below.